Hey, what's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and today we have a special guest here. We have Paso resident. We have Hunter Breese with us. Talk about what the hell just happened.
Hey, Randy, how's it going?
Good, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming on, man. And I'm really interested to hear your story. 19-year-old candidate for the school board. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, but before we jump into that, Hunter, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me, like, did you grow up here? Tell me a little bit about your foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. So originally my parents are from Oxnard, California, down in Ventura County. That's where they grew up, went to school. And when I was, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2, they moved up here for work. Work kind of brought them up this way, and they fell in love with it and decided to move up here. And this is kind of where I was raised my whole life. I was back and forth for a while between here and Oxnard, but this has kind of been my home base for my whole life. And
very cool.
I went to high school here,
All through elementary, the whole 9 yards.
All through elementary, the whole 9 yards. This is Paso, SLO County is pretty much all that I know for going to school, growing up, that sort of thing. So
Very cool. So give your parents a shout out with their business. What do they got?
Absolutely. Breese & Sons Construction, that's the name of our business. I actually work with them. We're general contractors, build houses, custom homes, that sort of thing. Mostly we're doing kitchen and bathroom remodels. We do that kind of through Home Depot. We're contracted, but we do our own stuff too. We do everything though, kind of electricity, electrical, plumbing, finished carpentry, you name it. We kind of do it if it has
Very
anything
cool.
to do with wood.
Well, you got your Trump hat on, so you're probably excited about last Monday, huh?
I was absolutely ecstatic. The election night, I was probably the only person that I wanted to win that didn't win, but everybody else that I wanted to win locally, nationally, they all won, so I was pretty pumped about that, but really excited with the way everything's going now. So
Very cool. So, Hunter, how did you get, I mean, you're 19 years old, or you're 20 now, but you're in high school, you're running for school board, position. I mean, have you been into politics? Has this been your vibe for, like through high school? Were you like on the political, do they have a political team, like a, what do they call that, debate team?
Right. So I wasn't part of any debate team. I've been asked tons of times if I was part of the student government. I wasn't part of student government, ASB, anything like that. But to go back a little bit, when I was in 6th or 7th grade, maybe 7th grade, I had a friend, Justin Smith. He's a car salesman at Paso Ford now, but when he was in high school, he started the conservative club at Paso Robles High School.
Okay.
And it was the first club, it was the first conservative club, the first club of Republicans on campus that they had. They had LGBTQ clubs, queer club. They had the progressive club. All the Democrat, left-leaning clubs.
They actually had a queer club that was called the Queer Club?
They had everything.
Really?
Yeah. I think they had probably 5 different LGBTQ clubs on campus. They had Equality Club.
Oh my gosh.
Gay Straight Alliance, I think, was the name of another one.
Gay Straight Alliance.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had one, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, for black people. Black Student Union, that was the name of it. Black Student Union. But Justin started the conservative club. He wanted it to be called the Republican Club. The administration at the high school wouldn't allow it because it was too political. So he landed on conservative club because conservatism is more of an ideology and less of a political affiliation. And when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I decided that I wanted to be in the conservative club and I wanted to take it over. I wanted to be the president. So he started taking me to meetings at Republican headquarters. We started going to events. We actually went to a governor's debate right here in Atascadero at the Lake Park between Travis Allen and Brian Cox, John Cox. They were candidates for governor in California in 2018, I think, or 2017. And I loved it. I fell in love with it. Being kind of in that element, meeting new people, talking to new people, really learning new things too, reading more about politics, history. I fell in love with it. So by the time I was a freshman, I was fully
all in
on it, and I was a Trumpy, I was a Republican, and I knew it. And that was kind of another thing. I mean, growing up, I was never told, like, we are Republicans, you are a Republican.
Right.
I kind of just had to figure it out on my own. And I think I've actually made my family more Republican just in what I've done and kind of who I've met, who I've talked to. I've talked to my family, my parents, and I've kind of pulled them more right than I think they normally would have been.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
they're more like on middle of the road, lefty a little bit?
They're pretty conservative, but I think on some things they would have been more middle, and I think I've kind of brought them, or maybe I haven't brought them, maybe I've just brought that perspective into them, and maybe they still. I know there's some things that my parents don't agree with me on.
Well, I mean, you think about it back in the old days, Democrat, Republican. I mean, it really used to be about, the foundation of what, I mean, you might like some of the stuff that's on the right side, on the Republicans, candidate. You might like some of the stuff on the Democratic, but over the last 20 years it has completely, that needle has just went bang or bang.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
no, gray areas going back and forth,
Yeah.
And so, I think a lot of parents, in that older generation, not older generation, generations or whatever, was raised up on those values that, it's not so much, right versus left.
Right.
It's like, okay, I can still agree with some stuff they have on the left. I can
Right.
agree with some stuff they have on the right.
Right, absolutely.
But now it's just like, so like common sense has like left the building.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, society and all these parties are pushing normal people that have common sense to go over a little bit more conservatives.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, like you said, the common sense thing, I feel like the common sense is starting to come back to people. And I've noticed people in my generation, some of the younger people, are leaning more conservative than maybe generation before us. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the common sense thing. I'm not quite sure why they're leaning more right, but I've noticed that kids my age, especially going to school, being at the high school, I've noticed that there was more conservative kids than there was liberal, left-leaning kids.
well, I mean, I'll be honest. Prior to the 2020 election, I didn't really think, not 2020, 2016 election.
Yeah.
I didn't really follow politics I didn't even know when, I feel crappy for saying this, but I didn't even know when presidents took office,
right.
you know what I'm saying? And so, but it was just, I think it was the push of like the TVs, the Hillarys versus Trumps and, the Obama, just the crap, that was going on kind of makes you tune in a little bit. And, thank God we live in the area that we live. I don't know about you. When I leave California, I have to explain myself when somebody says, "Hey, where are you from?" I'll be like, "Hold on, let me before I tell you, let me give you a little foundation,
absolutely.
right?"
Absolutely.
But just during that time, it almost forced you to do that because there's so much media, there's so much hate, there's so much this way, that way. That then COVID hit and basically knocked everything out of just shattered the windows into people's vision of what they believe in.
Yeah,
so.
I think that era too of especially social media or YouTube, anything like that, anything online, that was kind of the era of Donald Trump destroys Hillary in debate. That kind of that big headline that you want to click on YouTube to watch. Or the big one for younger people when I was in middle school or high school, it was Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro destroys stupid liberal in debate. And it's like, well, I want to watch that. That's hilarious. That's funny. And that got younger people engaged, seeing that sort of stuff on on a YouTube, Instagram, and then now with TikTok, having TikTok added into the mix. I mean, every other scroll is a scroll of, some sort of hearing. At least for me, it is. Or you're seeing Trump speak at some event, talk about his policies or whatever it is. So that gets younger people more engaged, and they go, "Oh, okay, that's kind of common sense. I like what he's saying there." Oh yeah, okay, I like that. And they just see it more, I think, on social media than we saw it before then.
So Hunter, obviously, now, Trump's administration is really cleaning house, but what has it been amongst your peers, amongst your age bracket, that, this election versus the election 4 years ago? Do you feel that there's like anything different, a new, amongst the young young generations?
Right. I think two big things for my age group specifically, that 19, 20, 21 age range. They just graduated high school. They want to be able to start families. They want to be able to get married, buy a house, really just start a life. It's the affordability aspect. They want to be able to afford stuff. They can't afford groceries. They can't afford gas. They can't afford to buy a house. Interest rates are through the roof. So that's kind of stressing them out, maybe holding them back a little bit, holding them back from, taking that next step in their relationship, getting married, anything like that, wanting to buy a house. And then the second thing in my age group is going to war. I mean, kids my age they didn't want to go to war. They didn't want to go over to Ukraine and get drafted into this crazy war. So they were more willing to vote for Trump if they weren't willing to do it 4 years ago. They were more willing to do it now because they knew he was going to do those two things. He was going to make things more affordable, hopefully, and he was going to keep us out of war and not send us all to war. Those were the two things that I thought were big for kids my age.
What about the other side of the spectrum with the kids there at school? How was that interaction? Did everybody keep it cordial, or was it more, a fight?
So when I was at the high school, it's been 2.5, almost 3 years now. I think the big talking point, or the big hot button topic, whatever you want to call it, was abortion, just because it was right when Roe v. Wade was being overturned, about my senior year. That was when that was being overturned. So that's all they wanted to talk about. It was abortion and gay rights. And I mean, I felt like it was pretty cordial between students on a lot of those issues. Depending on the student, I tried to be as cordial as possible with issues like that. I did a podcast debate at the high school with a girl that had differing opinions on abortion than I did. Yeah.
Oh, really? How'd that go?
I thought it went great. I really enjoyed it. I knew the girl well. We were close back in middle school. We were friends.
So it stayed friendly.
It stayed friendly.
It was based on policy.
Absolutely, yeah. We knew, okay, I don't agree with you. And we were able to find middle ground. We were able to kind of say, you know what, I don't agree with you on this thing, but I agree with you on this thing. That kind of makes sense.
Huh.
But it was
so you had a lot of the same beliefs, but they were different.
Right. Yeah. Maybe. But we were able to find that middle ground, and we were able to walk out of there and go, I disagree with you, but I don't hate you.
Right.
And that's kind of how I tried to go about things. Being at the high school, even now, I want to be cordial with people that have differing opinions with me. Sometimes I might get a little fired up, but I think especially the older I've got. I mean, when I was a middle schooler, when I was just getting into this, maybe I wasn't so silver-tongued, I guess you could say. But now I've tried to lean into talking to other people now, and there's people that can, back me up on that. I wear the Trump hat, and I wear it proud, don't get me wrong, but I want to sit down and I want to talk to you. When we were in with the conservative club, when I was the president of the conservative club, we used to get together with the opposite club. I can't remember what the name of it was right now.
Non-conservative club?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just call it that.
Exactly. We got together and we sat down with the not conservative club, the more progressive club, and we just talked about things. Well, what do you think about gun rights? And what do you think about the Second Amendment? Or what do you think about abortion? And we'd kind of go back and forth, and I loved it. I mean,
would the school let you guys have a debate like that, like in front of your peers, like not like a president, but like you said, you guys, and them, answering questions.
Yeah, we wanted to do something like that. The year kind of got away from us. I was really invested my senior year into the conservative club and doing stuff. Just kind of got away from us. We had a presentation on critical race theory at one point. We brought in Chris Arend. He was the board president at the time, and he wanted to give a presentation on critical race theory. And the conservative club was like, absolutely, we want to know about all the evils of critical race theory and why it shouldn't be taught in schools. But the caveat to that was, if we wanted to have somebody talk on a controversial topic at school, we had to have the opposite side also.
Right, makes sense.
Also present on the same topic. And we reached out to the progressive club and their advisor, and we wanted to have them have a professor from Cal Poly or Cuesta come and give us a presentation on why they thought critical race theory was great and why we should have critical race theory. But they weren't willing to find a professor to come debate our presenter.
So you couldn't do it?
So it kind of fell through doing it during school hours, but we were able to do it after school hours. And it worked out a little better because we were able to invite the public. So
where did you guys host that at?
We hosted it at the high school in the Performing Arts Center in the theater.
Okay.
And it wasn't the turnout that I really wanted, but we had a good 20, 25 people show up, and we had the Progressive Club show up. They came and asked questions, took notes, kind of tried debating our presenter a little bit. But it was cool. I mean, we tried to do stuff like that just to keep the conversation open.
And like I said, I think that's a lot of nowadays. It's like, me, it's like, I'm not like super huge into politics. I don't know, all the wars going on, the debates going on. I know a little bit,
Right.
And so it's like, change, tell me why. Don't just be saying I have to do this.
Right.
Tell me why I have to do that. Why, change my mind.
Exactly.
And it's almost, again, I fall back to common sense. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy, but I mean, I know common sense,
Right.
Well, that's common sense. It's like, you burn your hand on that fire, well, you don't touch it again.
Yeah.
It's going to burn you again, right? But it's like, it's like they don't have that fight. It's more of just, it's the same stuff, pussy grabber, felon, all these this and that. It's like, okay, that record's broken.
Right.
Give me a different reason of the hate,
Right.
The illegals. Okay, really, you don't want a safer country?
Right.
You don't want, your businesses not looted? You don't,
Right.
I mean, it's just like the common sense is like, you want all this, like what Selena Gomez, yesterday's, rant. It was like, so you support that, you support trafficking, you support, so that's your people?
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, there's really only one reason to let people in like that, and it's to try and take over a country or try and let your country just. I don't have the words for it, I guess.
So Hunter, so tell me about the experience that it was running. So tell me what even, what pushed you into the fire?
Yeah.
Because you're going to get slammed.
Right. And I got slammed plenty when I was a senior in high school. I made it onto Fox News twice when I was a senior.
Really? National Fox News?
National Fox News.
Was that because of the flags?
So
at the school?
One time was because we had a F. Joe Biden flag outside the school. Not not affiliated with the conservative club. There was a student that came afterwards. We did like a Veterans Day parade into the school, had our American flags. I think I had a Marine Corps flag on my truck because I have family members that are Marines. We decided we wanted to do a little thing for the veterans, show them a little bit of love the day before, the day after, whatever it was, going into the school. Well, a kid brought a F. Joe Biden flag, and he was holding it up, and somebody snapped a video or a picture of it, and then a teacher at another school.
This racist, group.
You kids at the conservative club at the high school, you guys can go jump off a bridge, and that blew up. Well, it was that at that point it was just an article. I got contacted by a reporter. They did an article, so I made it onto the Fox News, big website. I think they posted it on Facebook and Instagram. It was kind of cool. And then the second time I made it onto Fox News was our mask protest in 2022. The conservative club put together a group of students that were tired of wearing masks because in February of 2022, there was still a statewide mask mandate and students had to wear masks at school. Well, I was contacted by a board member, a trustee, Dorian Baker. She just left the board in December. But she said, "Hey, do you think you'd be willing to stage a protest with the students on the masks?" I was like, "I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it'd really work." But And she's like, "Well, just think about it, And so I prayed on it a little bit, and I've noticed just in my senior year and doing this running for school board, I've really had to lean into my faith. Really had to lean into God a little bit, do a lot of prayer and talk to him a little bit and just kind of figure myself out, figure out what he wants from me. And so I prayed about it, and it was something that I needed to do. And so we got a group of students together, about 10, 15 of us maybe, and we walked into the school and we said, "Hey, we're not wearing our masks." And they said, "No," the teachers, staff, they said, "No, that's not going to work with us. You got to get out of here." So they sent us to another room, and by second period, we had about 75 to 100 students.
Oh yeah,
they were protesting the masks. The school was actually turning kids away. They were like, "No, you can't protest anymore because we have too many.
American right.
We have too many students. So either you go back to class and put your mask on, or you can call your parent to call you out, and you can go home for the rest of the day." And they were like, "Well, we'll just go home for the rest of the day. We don't want to go back." And that was kind of their way of protesting, because if they don't... the big thing for me when I was kind of trying to put it all together was if they want to send us home, they don't get their ADA money. So, they're going to lose out on money for a day, and the state's going to be wondering, "Hey, why is this school losing out on
so much? 70 kids.
Why are they losing out on so much money on this one day?" So... the mass protest was another thing that really got me involved in school board politics. And I started going to meetings, and I just realized how messed up the school board was. And I mean, they would talk about things, they would talk about budget issues, and I'd be going, "Why are we spending so much money on this or that? Or why are we hiring people that we don't need to be hiring? Why are we spending money on consultants?" And I was kind of tired of all the money that I felt like was being wasted. And then Kenny Enney came in November of 2020 or October of 2022, and he started bringing out all the test scores. And, "Hey, why are our test scores so low? And why are we having a graduation rate of 97% but a proficiency rate of 23%? That doesn't make sense. Why are we just pushing kids through just to push them through?" And, I started thinking about it. We're just pushing these kids through, and they're not good at anything, and they're just going to end up on the street. They're going to end up the homeless people living under the bridge in the riverbed. I don't want that for our community. I don't think that SLO County needs any more homeless people living in the riverbed. I think we need more people that want to go to school and come back, or more kids that want to go work in their family business and learn something, learn a trade, do something just to be productive in the community rather than not knowing anything and going out and ending up addicted to drugs, living under an overpass. I didn't think that was a good future for our students coming out of the high school, especially. So I decided I wanted to throw my hat in the ring and try and make things a little better. I've got a little sister too. She's 13 now. She's at Trinity Lutheran. My parents decided they didn't want to have her in public school. I went to public school growing up. I was fine. I made it through, had good grades. I was strong-willed enough where I wasn't going to be swayed one way or the other, especially with the whole transgender issue and all that.
Right.
But they decided they wanted to send my sister to a private school, which I totally respect. I appreciate school choice. I respect it. I'm all for it. But she's going to be at the high school next year. I've got nieces and nephews that are going to be going to the high school at some point, and I wanted to make sure, I wanted to do everything that I could to make sure that was a better Paso High than I got when I was there. I mean, it was good when I was there, but I think it could be better. I think it could be a lot better than it is now. I think the whole Paso school district could be better than what I was able to experience at Paso High.
So Hunter, man, you have a lot of information, and so we're not gonna step into the whole run and yeah, because that's gonna be part 2.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I said, we need a bigger platform for you. But I want to hear about that. But I want to kind of stay in the arena of the high school right now.
Yeah.
Of like the changes that were made that you guys did as students, as non-votingable, age, but you guys made a change at the school amongst the worst time that anybody can make a change. And is it conservative, is it liberal, who knows? I feel like I think we have a little bit of both in our community, in our North County area. I'd like to feel that common sense trumps everything. But when you started with the conservative club there in Paso, did you get any like friction back from like the teachers and the administration, the superintendent, and all that kind of stuff?
I was worried about it when I got involved. What teachers are going to know that I'm in the conservative club and grade me differently or look at me differently? But we had I don't know if it was the environment of the campus, if it was the administration that did it, or the students that did it. I'm not sure. But I felt like the whole time that we were there as the conservative club, we just had a really positive environment, I guess. I mean, there was a lot of support for us from the community, from other students. So I didn't feel like there was that pushback really hard. I know the year before I came to the high school and got involved with the conservative club, there was a lot of pushback. There was a couple students that got beat up really bad just for being in the conservative club the year before I went to the high school. But when I got there, I felt like everything had mellowed out at that point, and we did a really good job of just keeping it professional, keeping it cordial.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't know how we did it, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, we just kind of, and it's I don't know what it was, but in that time frame, I haven't even really thought about it until just now. That was a time, I mean, Biden had just been elected, the 2020 election, we were just getting back from COVID. Everything was, in a sense, I guess, really woke.
Right.
It didn't feel woke when we were there at the high school. And maybe that was in huge part to the conservative club. Maybe that was in, huge part to the conservative majority school board that we had. But I thought that maybe all of it together maybe kind of kept it less woke. I mean, but at that point we were doing, parades with our American flags, and we had a lot of support. We were doing the mask protest. We were doing events with the conservative club, and people weren't absolutely losing their minds that we were a bunch of young conservatives, like I feel like they would be now. There was a lot of.
You think they would be now?
Maybe in maybe last year. Just maybe not now, just with how the election went and how.
I think in my opinion, I really think that during that whole craziness that the world was in, from 2020, Biden, Trump wars and blah blah blah, and COVID, I really think like this teachers, I think there's a lot of teachers and nurses and that had to bite their tongue and couldn't really. I know me personally, my sister-in-law was one of them, and they opted to retire early because of all that stuff, the vaccination mandates, this and that. It's like, really, it's like you're going to force somebody to get something that nobody knows about. But there was a lot of teachers that, what were they going to do? They were forced to do something. Now, is there going to be any retaliation? Is there going to be any type of, lawsuits, class action, down the road? Probably. But there was a lot of teachers that probably had to just bite their tongue and ride with, with it, what everybody else was doing. But once all that has changed here most recently, it's given them, the doors open, the shades have been pulled back to where it's not so much they have to be, quiet. They can't, really push their feeling. But during the high school time, during that time, you probably had some teachers that were on your side, but couldn't really voice that or show that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, Our advisor was great, Aaron Cantrell. He was a great advisor for the Conservative Club. He stuck with us pretty well. I mean, he was really supportive of us. But I had teachers that came up to me when I was getting ready to graduate towards the end of the year, and they said, "Hey, I never was able to say it before, but I just want to say now, thanks for everything that you did with the masks and the mask protest." It meant a lot to be able to see students' faces again coming back to school. Or I didn't get to tell you, but I appreciate everything that you did with the Veterans Day events that you did.
That could make you feel good.
And it was great. Not being able to walk away from the high school and know like, okay, there's still good teachers there, or knowing that teachers are going to retire that are good conservative teachers. I knew that when I was leaving, okay, there's still good conservative teachers, and hopefully there'll still be good conservative students that'll want to still make a difference. But there was definitely, and I definitely got that vibe that there was teachers there that just weren't able to say anything. They wanted to, but maybe they were worried about retaliation from the administration if they said anything. And it sucks. Like it sucks that the teachers even feel like that. That they can't say anything, because I know that other teachers that feel the other way, that are total, in my opinion, wacko liberals, they're not afraid to share what they believe, and they're not afraid to tell students what they think. So it just sucks that the conservatives have to feel like that. I wish they didn't have to, but.
Well, like I said, I think that page has turned. I think, we're in a new era. We're in a new time, we've seen all what happened in the last week. A lot of things are getting done. A lot of promises are being kept. So, the next 4 years, hopefully the next 8, next 12, will continue that same path of common sense, sense.
Absolutely.
So, Hunter, we're going to wrap up here.
Okay.
But I want to have you come back on.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to deep dive a little bit more into from high school on.
Yeah.
So because you have an interesting story, and I didn't know. I wish I would have looked into it a little bit more, because I didn't know that you were the president of the Conservative Club, which it's inspiring. To look down and see our younger generations, which I see that and you see that around here. You see a lot of American flags, a lot of patriotic, symbols on shirts and flags and, this and that. And you see a wave of the younger generation. Yeah. Not so much like when I was a kid, like again, I didn't even know who the president was, probably when I was a kid. Nothing was ever talked about, politics amongst my friends or, really any of the groups that I kind of chilled with. But as the world changes and people get more involved, as the parents get more involved, their kids get more involved. And so it's probably why there's such a good foundation of conservatives, in the North County. Of course, we live in an area where conservatives are high in, this is what ranching, farming, Western way of life. I mean, all that stuff. So, but
I like my grandparents and some other people's grandparents. They're Reagan era conservatives, and I think my generation, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to be able to tell my grandkids that I was a Trump era Republican. Right. Kind of like how they were able to tell me that they're Reagan conservatives. I'm a Trump Republican. So I feel like it's all kind of swinging back, and it's a real pendulum swing. So our grandparents got Reagan, we got Trump, and we're going to be able to kind of build off that and live with that. So I'm really excited about it.
Awesome, man. We're going to end with that because that was a great ending right there. So, Hunter, thanks again, man.
Randy.
I really appreciate, you coming in. I'm inspired by your age and your foundation and what, dude, I mean, you've got a big future in this.
Thank you.
You got a big future in this because you have the common sense and you have the value and you have the backbone, to stay, you know what I'm saying? And not be in fear of, the tongue lashing that you're going to get, And so, like I said, I appreciate you, and I look forward to part 2 because I want to hear in depth how this all transpired and who were some of some of your people that you look to for guidance and to help with all these hits that you were taking.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'd love to come back.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, Hunter Breese here. Guys, this is a 20-year-old kid from Paso Robles that is rattling the trees and moving the oceans here and making change right here in the North County, which I love and love to be a part of and hearing more and more about. So we're going to tune in for the second part with Hunter Breese down the road and hear the steps of going into the candidacy, running for the office and running for the election, going through the elections and all that good stuff. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, North County Junk Removal, The Trailer Barn, Story Termite and Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Suprema Meat Markets. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram. and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.